Alright, so today I will be talking about Bach's Seventh Fugue as part of the Well-Tempered Clavier. I'm going to be going ahead and going over the exposition and the first episode that occurred. Just a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to be in E-flat major. There are three voices in this fugue. I will go ahead and go through them as the exposition goes along. Our subject here is going to be the first two measures. Cool thing about this subject, it has very strong harmonic implications. We start with the arpeggiated one chord right here, and we kind of go into a 5 of 5, which is going to be right here, and pick up measure 2, which carries us to the 5 chord. It's going to be B dominant, go into the tonic right here in measure 3. Now the tonic is reestablished with the alto becoming an answer, and that's going to be a tonal answer. It's not directly transposed to fifth. You can tell that by the first interval that occurs in the first two notes. It's going to be right here, the E to D, compared to the B to G here. So third against the second, tells you right away it's going to be a tonal answer. Going into measure 5, everything is pretty similar as far as the answer goes. But right here in measure 5, we're going to get something a little bit different. So this is our link. Our link is going to carry us over from measure 5 to 6 and get us back to the subject, which is going to be presented in the bass line. However, the strange thing about this one is instead of coming back on tonic, we get this 5 chord right here. We land on 5, and that's going to give us a little bit more of harmonic implications right here, because these two eighth notes didn't really have much going for them in the first measure, but now with the alto and soprano in, kind of outlines a major 4 chord, which is going to then take us to our 5 of 5 chord, and then back to our dominant chord, and then that's when the first episode is going to start. So I'll go ahead and play through that and just go ahead so we can go ahead and get a better understanding of that. So that was a brief overview of the exposition. Going into the episode, we get a couple of cool things that happen. So the episode is actually revolved around the what I like to call subject tail. Right here, you get these 16th notes that are going to be clustered into 2 beats right here. You can see that happen actually at the end of the subject. So that's going to be passed from the soprano to the bass, while the alto is kind of just doing some free counterpoint just to keep the sequence moving along. The sequence that occurs here is going to be circle of fifths. It's going to be descending to, it's going to be going up by 4 and then down by 5. You can see that kind of right here where you have an E chord that is outlined that goes into an A chord, drops down to a D, then goes to a G, and then right here you have kind of a cluster of them where it's going to be going from C to F to B, and then it's going to get back to B. Let's go ahead and listen to the episode and go ahead and go over it a little bit more. So that was the episode. It started kind of back on the introduction of the theme coming in the bass voice, but kind of progressed later on into the sequence. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you a little bit of the markings that I did on my score, starting right here. So if we go up, just go ahead and brief overview of what we just talked about. Subject, having strong harmonic implications, going to the 5/5. You get the answer and the counter answer. The answer introduced in the alto voice, counter answer in the soprano. Goes on, and you have this link here that's going to just take us over to the subject being reintroduced in the bass, and then as the subject carries along, we get a little bit stronger harmonic implications with the 5 chord landing instead of the 1 chord. Carries over to 4, 5/5, going to the 5, and then back to 1, where we start to sequence circle of fifth sequence with subject tails being the main motive of the sequence, and being carried out in the soprano and the bass voice. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.